Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about transition pieces. In almost any flooring job, there is going to be a point where one type of flooring, for example, your vinyl plank, is going to need to transition or change into a different type of flooring, often tile, or an existing laminate, or sometimes even a different vinyl that just is a different color and looks different. To do this, we're often stuck trying to do a transition piece, and traditionally those have been made out of metal or a flexible plastic, and they are a different color. So as you can see in all of these photos here, while they are well done and well installed and matched as closely as they can be, they are not the same. And today we are looking at making transition pieces that are the same. So as you can see in these photos, it is matching the vinyl plank flooring that is there. And so the transition is just going to visually disappear. In this video, we are going to show you how to go about making your own transition piece out of any vinyl plank flooring that you might have. This is a service that we do offer here at Step Up, but it is often done on kind of a one-off basis. And a lot of customers are more interested in possibly just doing it themselves. So that's why we're doing the tutorial. You can purchase the actual physical transition piece at most home improvement stores as well as flooring specialists. They're generally made out of MDF, and you want to make sure that you're getting the correct transition if it's going to be a same level or a different level flooring. We're then going to be obviously modifying it with the vinyl plank flooring to make it the same color. So what you're going to need a good X-Acto knife. You're going to need this adhesive tape here, and you are going to need a heat gun of some sort. You want to start by cutting one of your vinyl plank boards in preparation. You don't want to be trying to peel the vinyl off of a full board. That's a lot more difficult. And so you want to be using a shorter piece. Make sure that it is slightly longer than the transition piece that you want to be creating to give yourself a little bit of space, and that it is wide enough so that it gives you some space on each side, because that vinyl will need to be wrapped around the transition piece there. Once you've selected the sizing that you need, you're going to go ahead and start the peeling process. There are a few different ways to get started on peeling that color wear layer off of the vinyl. Personally, we like to just use the X-Acto knife, obviously being very careful along the edging, and then just being really, really gentle and careful when you start to pull that across. You want to get both sides started. You're not going to be able to peel it just from the one corner. And then once you have both sides going, you're just going to continue to work your way along. It really is a bit of a delicate process, but once you get a feel for it, you can kind of move along here. This video is obviously sped up. You want to take your time, and as you can see along the left hand side here, it isn't pulling the whole board. Again, we gave ourselves a little bit of extra width in case this happens, but if it starts to happen, you can see here you just want to score it with your X-Acto knife to then give it an edge to go along, so that it's not going to continue to make the piece smaller and smaller until it's unusable. So you're just going to continue this peeling process all the way along until you have that colored wear layer that you've taken off, which is going to be the piece that you're going to be adding on to the transition that you already have. It is often going to be quite rolled up when it's come off, so we are going to activate our heat gun here using a lower heat setting and just give it a little bit of a heat. The vinyl itself is more malleable when it has been heated, and so we're just going to stretch it out to it's flat, add a little bit of heat there, and then it's just going to modify it so that when you do take it out of this position, it will just remain flat on its own. Well, we are going to heat it again later. It is important to just get it flat here to make it a little bit easier to work with in the process as we go forward. All right, now we are going to prepare the transition piece itself. So you want to have cut the transition piece to just slightly longer than what you're going to need. And then you are going to go ahead and get the glue adhesive out. You want to cut the adhesive now before you've taken the backing off, and you do want to make it longer than the transition piece that you need. This is going to allow you to leave little handles on each end, because this is extremely sticky and it is not something that you want to be touching. and trying to deal with. So once you've cut the overall piece to be longer, you're going to set your transition piece on here, and you're just going to score the white plastic backing that's on here at the ends. So like I said, this will allow the backing to remain on the ends once you've peeled it off to apply it to the transition piece, and leave you a little strip to be able to hold on to. So you're going to start by peeling off one of the sides here. And once you've gotten all of that backing off, you are then going to leave it laying on the table, and you're going to flip your transition piece over and center it in the space that is there. And then you're going to just push down and let it adhere. Again, with these adhesives, you don't want to do it more than once, so make sure you have it how you want it. You're then going to use the paper backing, again, don't touch the adhesive itself, to wrap the adhesive all the way around the transition. It is important that you do this. Obviously, we're going to need that adhesive, so that we'll then be able to wrap the vinyl around the transition piece itself. So just take your time. You can see here moving along, keeping the covering on it so you're not getting that sticking on it, and then just applying a good amount of pressure to make sure that it is completely adhered to the transition piece that you have here. As on the backing, it's only a small piece that is on there. Again, you just want to make sure that those are really well adhered along those edges, and everything is tight and firm. We're then going to go ahead and take off the other side of the backing to reveal the adhesive that will attach to the vinyl. So once again, we're going to score that covering so that, again, we're going to be able to leave those handles for us to be able to deal with, so we won't have to be touching the adhesive itself. And then we can peel off that second piece of backing, which will leave that double-sided adhesive on our transition piece, ready for the vinyl to be adhered to. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to set this down for just a second and reheat our piece of vinyl that we have here. This just allows it to be able to be bent around the transition piece a little bit better. This is sped up, but you're going to see there is not a lot of heat that is applied here. You definitely don't want to overdo it. Just warming it up basically to a body temperature so that it will be just a little bit more flexible to be able to add to the transition piece. So once you've gone ahead and do that, you can turn off your heat gun and set it aside. And then again, you're going to leave your vinyl on the ground, use those end pieces to hold it and center it in the piece of vinyl that's there. And then again, only touching the middle of the transition where there isn't the adhesive, you're going to bend that vinyl around so that it sticks to the adhesive that you have already applied to the piece. We're then going to spend some time making sure that it is fully adhered, again, using your hands to just really stick this down. This adhesive is incredible, very long lasting once it's in place. So that's why we were very careful when we placed it. And we're just going to make sure that we get it into place and everything is stuck down so that it is going to last an extremely long time. If, like us, the piece that you peeled off has a little bit of extra length to it, you're then going to flip your transition piece over here. And once you've ensured that it's adhered, you can just cut off any of the extra vinyl that is not adhered to the transition strip. Obviously, we want to leave enough that it's going to hold on the transition strip, but we can remove any extra. This is obviously important because we need to be able to use the middle of that transition piece to attach to the metal bracket that goes on to the flooring. So just using the X-Acto knife here, quite easy to score along this the wear layer that's there and remove that. And there you have it. You have your transition piece. You can give it a little bit of an extra push along those edges there to make sure it's there. And you can go ahead and cut off those handles, or when you go to actually cut your overall piece down to the exact size that you need, those would come off there as well. And there we have it, a beautiful transition piece that is made out of the exact vinyl that we need for our flooring. And so if you have a transition where possibly you're changing from one direction to the next, or where you're going from your vinyl plank onto another material, that's going to give you that transition that looks the exact same as the vinyl that you already have, and just really make it disappear and give you a beautiful overall finish. As I mentioned, we do offer this service. You can find us on our website at www.stepupvinyl.ca, or you can use this tutorial to do it yourself. If you've liked the video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.